My name is Chatham, and I have been working with Nikki for the last couple of months on business coaching and mindset work in particular. And as a career nanny, I often get a lot of side glances for being a glorified babysitter or playing with kids all day. Um, and I took that in for quite some time. So prior to working with Nikki, I did feel very undervalued and inferior in so many ways to a lot of people around me. I saw so many friends, hitting new heights in their careers, and it seemed like they were taken seriously and valued at their professions. And I wanted to do the same for mine. I began advertising myself as a childcare provider in October and began working with Nikki formally in November. Since that time, I have actually been able to quadruple my rates. I did start out actually at $22 per hour, and I'm currently charging 100. Um, Through our work together, I was able to niche down and find an area very much am valued, within the childcare sector. And Nikki has been there every step of the way for every email, text message, booking question, billing, every step of the way. She has been there for me and supported my growth. In late fall of 2022 is when I began working with Nikki. Specifically, I subscribed to her Monday through Friday voice note access, and that was absolutely game changing for me. I felt actually quite guilty about the amount of energy I was drawing from my friends and constantly asking them how to reply to this email and how should I adjust my rate based on XYZ and do I factor location into my rates? And I realized that making the investment in Nikki's services and having that instant boots on the ground in the moment professional coaching, I believe is what was able to elevate my career to the point that it's at now. She is able to keep me accountable, but also teach me how to hold myself accountable. So it is not a spoon feeding relationship. It's very much a growth partnership. Um, if I just need help with something as simple as, hey, I need to order some groceries today. I'm going to get back to you by the end of the day. Simply putting that out there, I know she will be there for me. Alternately, if I have a question about a legal contract, she also has resources available. And again, uh, within seconds or within a couple hours, if she's busy, has a reply for me. So just the idea of investing in a professional that has that on the ground, capability to respond to you in real time, the investment, you'll see that come back tenfold. At least I have. When Nikki and I first started working together in early fall of last year, I quickly realized that I needed to readjust my schedule in the way I was prioritizing the things in my daily life. I had never been a high performing individual or someone that services that were heavily in demand. And I found myself struggling to maintain my own self care and my own health whilst fulfilling the demands of, these very professional and needy clients. Nikki and I started working on scheduling together. And I think something that I will always remember is when she told me, you have been doing things X way for 29 years. It is going to take a little bit of time to figure out what works for you as a professional. You just started. And she worked with me every week. We would touch base and see, oh, did it work to wake up at this time? How does it feel to XYZ? But I was able to generate changes that were sustainable. So I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. every day, but I did wake up at 7:30, then 7, then 6, and then 5:30, and then 5. So I quickly moved to match Nikki's energy. Scheduling and consistency are two things that have been very difficult for me throughout my entire adult life. When I first started working with Nikki last fall, I did not have any form of self care routine or daily schedule. I simply woke up and just hoped for the best. As I worked with Nikki, we began trialing different types of schedules and making adjustments every week. For example, I now have sit down tasks and stand up tasks. And I balance things that need my energy, like doing the laundry or going grocery shopping, with sit down tasks that work for me, like answering emails or updating social media. Trialing these different types of movements and figuring out a schedule that allowed me to perform at my highest was probably the most invaluable experience that I had with Nikki right off the bat. Because you're not able to be a high performer or meet the needs of this demanding clientele if you do not have a sustainable and efficient schedule for yourself. I was never told you need to wake up at 5, you need to go to bed at 9:30, you need to walk X amount of times per day. Nikki worked with me and took my feedback into consideration every week and offered her insight, which was never anything less than extraordinarily helpful. And at this point, I think I know what I'm doing a little bit more. I still draw on her every day, literally Monday through Friday, for advice, but I've got a much better grip on life now. Another life-changing facet of working with Nikki is her ability to help me prioritize whatever activities I'm facing throughout the week, and help me sort of see which things I need to do when in order to make the most impact on others, which is my goal. Sometimes I have moments of complete breakdown and I don't know if I should take a shower, order groceries, or respond to the last 6 emails I got. And Nikki is always there with a calm, cool, and collected, text or voice note or Zoom call, whatever it may be. And she's able to help me almost ground and realign. The best example I can think of this is throughout the last 10 days, I had been working on an advertising post and I analyzed over it and edited it and changed it so many times. And eventually, Nikki and I got on a call and we got it done. We actually didn't even talk to each other because we were both working on it the whole time. And I was able to finally post that first round of advertising and actually generated 9 leads in 4 days. So I'm so thrilled that she has that insight and ability to say, because she knows me. So she says, you know what? Chatham really does need to order groceries first because she's not going to make it to those 9 calls without her food. Whereas some other clients might not have that issue. So she provides a one-on-one experience based on your needs and then helps you prioritize your actions based on those needs. So it's not a one size fits all approach. Before becoming a one-on-one client, I truly had no idea, the lifelong implications that having a negative and toxic mindset can have on you. Like I said, I was earning barely enough money to survive, and I was drawing on so many friends for validation and support and advice. Um, but after beginning to work with Nikki and prior to even picking up a dumbbell once, after speaking with her and learning, I guess, how to channel and streamline my value and really see that part of myself, everything changed. Before we even started working out, I was able to lose 7.6 pounds over the course of 3 weeks when I had not even worked out once. I eventually came to Nikki and said, hey, I know we've been doing mindset and business work, but now I want to return to the physical fitness. And my results have only continued to grow. So she will never push you for more services, but you will want them because she's just great at what she does. Over the years, I have seen Nikki participate in dozens of leadership, coaching, and professional development programs, several of which hone in on emotional intelligence. And something that I really struggle with is separating action from emotion. If I am happy or sad or angry, I immediately want to post a story or send an angry text or eat that bit of junk food. And something I'm working on in therapy is, again, separating that action and learning to sit with my emotions and then plan accordingly. I actually told my therapist about Nikki's work and he would like to meet her. So this is definitely something that many people in the industry are doing, is recognizing your emotions and how they factor into your success as a professional. And I work with parents for a living. So my bosses do not have admin experience. They do not run teams and they do not know how to hire and fire people. They are mothers and fathers. So naturally, I encounter many frustrating, challenging, and downright rude clients sometimes. And I didn't realize it, but I think one of the most valuable things about Nikki is that you can tell she invests tens and thousands of dollars in her own abilities, and that trickles down to her clients. So I really just can't recommend her enough in the sense that, she has that extra layer of, she's not just a coach or a mentor. She has so much EI that really helps her clients succeed daily and not just every quarter. Prior to working with Nikki, I absolutely honed in on negative or even somewhat critical feedback, even in the most professional settings. I tended to take everything very personally, ruminate on feedback or anything negative that it had been communicated that I did, any mistake I made. And I've definitely noticed that since working with Nikki, her constant mindset shifts and reframes have started to become natural in my own thinking. I think the most famous one is, "Oh, Nikki, I have to do laundry. Chatham, you get to do your laundry." And I think I don't even text her a complaint anymore because I say, "Wait a minute, what is she going to say to this?" And I'm able to catch that shift in myself real time. And I think that just speaks volumes to her work as, I guess, a mentor in that capacity, that if I am able to make those shifts myself and catch it a little bit faster, I can't even imagine where I'll be in 6 months. Um, I used to, like I said, ruminate on any negative feedback, whether it was warranted or not. But now I'm immediately able to say, okay, what did I learn from this? You know what? They must be going through something. I will send them good vibes next. And I am not touched by any sort of feedback. I use it, but you cannot dull this light. The last piece of advice I would give to anyone who is considering working with Nikki as a one on one client is you just have to try. I believe that my experience is completely unique to me, but it is not one that cannot be recreated for every single client out there. The return on investment will be tenfold. You have heard of the wild success stories from many of our current clients, but please know that myself and the other men and women that are already loving Nikki, we are not special. Nikki has the knowledge and resources to help anyone at any point of their career or mindset journey. And it was absolutely terrifying for me to commit to pay her for weekly one on one services. But I can confidently say that she has helped me get to where I was always meant to be 10 times faster than if I had tried to figure it out without her. I did try to figure it out without her for my entire life, and it just didn't work out for me. That being said, again, this is not a unique experience and it's not something that only works for people in my situation. Her program is proven, it is adaptable, and it can be replicated for so many different types of people. If there was one instance I could share that just exemplifies everything Nikki has done for me, business, fitness, mindset, and coaching wise, it would be Pluto. And what is Pluto? Pluto is the farthest planet from the sun. Nikki often tells me we are going to the moon. And last week I wrote back and said, "Bitch, we are going to Pluto." So if that just is probably the best thing I've ever said in my life, for me to reject her trip to the moon and push it out to Pluto. There's room for you on the rocket. Climb on.